So today the topic is balancing the masculine, feminine, or the yin and the yang, and on opening the creative channels. So the key words here are balance and creativity. So every Friday, if you're new here, every Friday I pick a different topic and we do a group healing that contains partly that you're doing the healing, the visualization, and then I do a group healing, and then I often offer one-on-one healings as well. Okay, so first I'm going to talk a little bit about the topic that I chose for today, and then we're going to put on our visualization hats and we're going to go inside and do a internal meditation. I'm going to ask you a few questions to look at with inside yourself, and then I'm going to do a group healing, and then I'm going to do one-on-one healings as well. It's going to make sense in a little bit, so I'll explain each step as we go along. So I basically chose this because, for one thing, because of the coronavirus, we're all taking time to find our balance. You know, we are also shooken up when the shelter-in-place orders happened, and we're trying to find what's our new norm, what's working for us, and we're trying to balance our eating, our activities in the day, our health, our energy, just everything we're trying to balance. And then one thing that's really going on for most everybody is we're opening our creative channels. So people who maybe are unable to work right now are having to find new avenues for making money. And people who are working, like me, it's like, wow, this is a great opportunity for people like me to be more like, I've had this like surge of creative energy like I haven't had in so long. I don't know about you. And so I also know the tools on how to actually open up your energy field in your body to clear out any energy blocks that are getting in the way of you basically radiating your full magic out into the world. So let's talk briefly about what I mean by masculine, feminine channels. I know that's a really big woo word. So I basically have a little diagram here, and the chakras, the ovaries are in the second chakra right here. So, and it's the equivalent is testes for a man. And then these lines up here represent, one's the masculine and one's the feminine. Now, usually the masculine channel is on the right and the feminine is on the left, but not all the time, but almost all the time, okay? And there's no right and wrong, how much masculinity and how much femininity you have in your body. The important thing, and the only thing I really care about, is that you are your true percent of what you're supposed to be. So like, for instance, a lot of clients I work with, and often me, I get into the work world and I go, and I become more like tight in my chest and more determined, and I maybe have my blinders on, and this perseverance, which is basically me being the masculine. Now, the masculine is also very helpful for me, because when I have this drive and I say things very directly and very straight, that's all masculine too. And that's my truth. So when I get out of balance in the masculine, I find myself like overworking or just putting so much pressure, perfectionism, ideals on me. The feminine channel is more of the receptive channel. And it's more of the channel that could just receive information. And especially for this healing, I would love to invite you to be more in the receptive channel. It's the softer side, the more nurturing side, the caring side, the compassion, the heart-based, that's more the feminine. So we're going to look at how you're running your masculine, feminine channels. We're going to look at any energy blocks that are going on with how you're running them. And then we're going to do an energy clearing to clear any of the blocks so that you could be powerfully feminine and powerfully masculine. A powerful leader or a powerful business like director or a powerful friend has to have a good fill of both, a good percent of the masculine and a strong percent of the feminine. Again, I'm going to make the point that we want you to be your true self. Oftentimes we're trying to be like how we think we're supposed to be. Like, for instance, I just had a thought of a man who is basically too afraid to speak his mind to a woman, but that he might hurt her, fear that he might hurt her, or that he might be trying to be the right person from what his dad wanted him to be. And so he might be erring on safe porting and softening his words, when really his truth is really like a bold, powerful man, but he's afraid to step into his power. That's what I'm talking about when we have a little bit of imbalance. Okay. And then we'll get into the creativity channels in a bit, but I will just briefly tell you what I mean by creativity channels. So your creativity channel is this little diagram right here. It starts in your ovaries or testes, and it comes up to here, and then it splits at your comes down your shoulder, and then it goes down through your hand. And when your creative energy is flowing, it's like radiating like a water a hose of water shooting out of your hands. And so in the end, we're going to create that visualization and in the end of the meditation, so that we could all get our creative energy powerfully streaming through our body. All right. So let's just start by shutting our eyes and settling into the chair that you're on. And when you settle in, make sure it's best if your feet are connected into the earth, or you could do this lying down, it's optional. And I often recommend a back support. I have a pillow behind me, and that helps to support my low back so my low back doesn't have to work. And my head is balanced on top of my pelvis. And just imagine from the very top of your head, there is a string there, like you're a marionette, and somebody's above just slightly pulling it just a little bit up towards the sky, making you just a tiny bit taller. And then as you exhale, let that go. And you want to make sure as you're sitting up taller, you're not working these muscles in here. I want you to let go of working these chest muscles. And now I want you to connect with your feet and feel the energy from beneath your feet coming up to meet your feet. And use the mantra, the earth beneath my feet supports me. So really kind of get in touch with your 10 toes and the soles of your feet. Bring your awareness down there to the earth, the grounding. And let's just take a few deep, relaxing breaths together. And any of your fears or worries that are going on in your day, any thoughts, just imagine them, recognize them, and imagine them dropping down into the earth. You can imagine a grounding cord coming from the base of your spine, going all the way to the center of the earth. And just imagine all your worries, all your anxious ideas or concerns falling down into the earth. And I invite you to be fully present with me here. And I'm going to start the Reiki Ray, and I'm going to set the intention to give healing to all the people who are here and all the people who will be listening to the stream later. So first, we're going to start with an ovary or testes clean out. Okay. So I'd like you in your imagination to imagine your right ovary. I know you've probably never been asked that before, but just imagine your right ovary. And see if you could see what it looks like, or testy if you're a man. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just give a little gold light energy to clean out that ovary. And then let's look at the left ovary. And the thing I'm seeing is the left ovary looks like much smaller than the right. And the right one, it looked gold and robust. And the left one, and I'm basically looking at the collective conscious right here of everybody here, it looks really almost like weak and frail. And another thing I wanted to mention about why I'm really passionate about this healing is because there's a lot of women right now that want to get pregnant and have children, maybe in their 40s or towards the end of their childbearing years. I attract a lot of those ladies to work with. And if your ovaries aren't in good shape, you're going to have a very hard time bearing a good egg to have a baby. So let's just look at the left ovary. We need to do a little work on the left ovary together. So let's just together clear any of the energy blocks. I'm clearing right now. I can't do it. Something's wrong with me. Let's clear that. Um, there's this weakness, and the weakness is coming from overworking the adrenals and putting too much of yourself into your work up until now. Like right now, you're taking a chill pill, much better than you have been. And so give yourself a pat on the back right now. And so one of the lessons of the coronavirus is to just kind of take it back a notch, take it down a notch, and to be more in the feminine or receptive mode. So let's just give a little love to that left ovary, and I'm actually going to put some gold light energy in, and now it's actually going at a lot better. And just the fact that I said, okay, I gave you permission to relax and rest, that actually felt really good for a lot of people. And yeah, the gold light energy is going in really easily for everybody now. So if you're a woman wanting or thinking about getting pregnant, then this is actually going to really help you. And if that's not your thing, then this is going to help you in other ways, just by your ovaries make your hormones, and your hormones regulate your mood and your whole endocrine system, which is also your immunity. So it helps in many different ways. Okay. All right. Now your ovaries and your testes look good. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at together is how you're running, how much energy you're running in your masculine channel and how much energy you're running in your feminine channel. Now, they don't have to equal 100%. Okay, so let's first look at the masculine. And I'm going to ask you a question. And the question is, what percent of your energy is masculine, running masculine energy? And for the collective conscious, the number I got was 83%. Okay, and so now let's look at the left or the feminine channel and ask yourself that same question: what percent of your energy is in the feminine? And I'm getting 23% in the collective energy. So now ask yourself if that feels appropriate or if there needs to be something shifted a little bit. And what I'm getting is that there's too much of the masculine going on. And so, if that is true for you, or if you believe that to be true, then ask yourself, what do I need to do to bring myself more into balance? And let's see what we get. So the answer I'm getting from a lot of ladies on this call is it's really in your thyroid. It's like really affecting you right here. And so it's kind of like it's basically the way you know it to be. Like we're like on a race to time, on time, like whatever age we are, we feel like we need to be somewhere by the time we're our age, or we are actually, for a smaller percentage of you, you are where you need to be, like in a really successful corporate career, getting paid well. But and it's like you need to keep going on that train because that's what your ideal of how you should be, but you've forgotten about your physical body. Super important for us to connect back into our physical body. And so this is basically throwing off the yin and the yang right now for you. Okay. So just acknowledge it. Don't beat yourself up about it. But when we acknowledge what's throwing us out of balance, that is super helpful. So now I'm going to do a little bit of a healing and a clearing around the things I just said. And if this is you, just receive. Yeah. Things are going to change. Okay. And the next thing I'm going to do, let me see, is let's just look at I'm going to look at each channel specifically. I'll look at the masculine and I'll look at the feminine, and you could do this with me. So for the masculine, that starts at the right ovary for most people and it goes up to the shoulder. So let's just look at how, like, in your imagination, do you see a straight line or does it look kind of blocked? I know this is really abstract. So if you don't understand what I'm saying, just relax and receive. But what I see is it looks really thick at the bottom, but then it gets weaker towards the top, towards the shoulder. And this is like your energy flow that goes out into your creative channels out through your arms. So it's actually really important that there's a constant flow and there's not a lot of effort for the energy to flow up. And so, so I'm looking right now at what are the energy blocks that are making it a little weak towards the top. And it's basically like your endocrine system has been on overdrive. Your adrenals have been on overdrive for too long, that you need basically, I used to say like that's why people get sick, is so that their body can catch up with their spirit and themselves. And so you don't have to necessarily get sick to do this, but you need to actually take it down a notch and relieve yourself of fear and anxiety right now. It's actually crucial that you do this because your body can't keep going like that. It literally can't. So bring a little softness and compassion and love into your body. And let's send that from the right ovary up through the right channel. Okay, good. And I'm going to send a little gold light as well. Perfect. Okay. So now let's go to the left channel. And so this is from the left ovary, and just take a notice of, ooh, that looks really, how's that line for you? And that looks really spotty and like really weak is what I'm seeing in the collective conscious energy. So let me just see what is going on. I can't figure it out. I don't get it. Like a lot of people maybe who made consistent income in their careers just aren't. Um, People are kind of like almost like feel like they got a slap in their face and they can't quite get their mojo going to get out there and do it. That's really affecting your left channel. Um, I should be somewhere else than I am. So let's clear that. Okay, that's really going on there. Okay. And I'm going to put some gold light energy now from the ovary up to the left shoulder. Okay, now here's the cool thing. This is where I'm going to do one-on-one healing information for everyone that signed up for my healing group before, which is 21 people. So, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll leave the link at the end of this for how to sign up. And then when you sign up, you get things like me meditating on you before our actual call. Okay, so let's go back to this diagram here, and you have the two ovaries, okay? And so what I want you to imagine that there's a line connecting the two, and I want you to make a triangle in your visualization. And the triangle goes either down, forward, or up, okay? So I want you to ask yourself, which way is your triangle pointed? Down, outward, or up? And I'm gonna tell you the meaning in a moment. And now I'm going to go through my list. And the first person is Linda C. And what I see from you is actually, it went forward for a second and then it went down. That's interesting. And you're basically taking care of business. It looks like taking care of your own personal business, doing things that need to get done. Terry Moon, it's definitely down. And yeah, if you guys have any questions about why, feel free to write it down, and I'm happy to either on this call to answer it or to answer it after. You know, if anybody who writes comments, I answer all of them. Or if you're not on my list and if you want to know, I'm happy to share. Okay, Tori Gilmore is very much out and forward. Okay, I'm going to tell you now what the meaning is. So if you're out and forward, you're focused on everybody else except for you. You're focused, and well, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just like you're really putting it out there into the world. And so with Tori, that's basically the story is you basically feel more comfortable leaving your body completely and like go, go, go and thinking about your boys and thinking about like everybody else. And like, even your mind is on like what's going on in the world, what's going on. You're very much an empath. And so you're basically living through other people than actually living with inside yourself. Okay. Helly is, let's see, what do I see? And by the way, almost nobody on this list I know. Okay, so with Helly, I see you, it's forward, and it looks like you're reaching for something over there, you know. For Tiffany, it's down. For Cheryl, it is forward and you're beating yourself up. And so it's almost very similar to what I said about Tori. It's almost like, let me put my attention over there. And then you're also doing a lot of self-reflection, but that self-reflection is really circular thoughts that get stuck in your mind. It's like a rat's wheel of thoughts. And that stuff is not actually, it's good to reflect, and do internal thinking about what needs to happen and, reassess. But you're doing that too much. And you got to like stop that, because that's actually, there's a little bit of self-sabotaging thoughts within that as well. And so it's basically for you, it's the balance of inside me versus outside you. Because right now you don't even know how to receive attention from anybody else. You don't even know how to be yourself. All you know is like really about giving to other people. Okay, Shane, let's see. Shane, your energy looks really excited right now, and I definitely see it's forward. So Jennifer M, let's see. Jennifer M, I see it going down and down into the earth, and it's really like you're basically trying to heal a lot of karma. And you've been in this place for a while, it looks like, and you are like way down in the earth. So my advice to you would be start to open up your upper chakras. And as I said, that I do see that you do have a spiritual practice and you're connected to source. So a little bit more of that to bring up you don't have to stay in the mud pits by yourself for so long. You don't have to, for everybody, we need to look at our shadow side, but you don't need to stay there. Okay, Rainbow Chen is out and it's way forward out there, if that makes sense to you. It's similar to some of the other people that I spoke to, that's way out forward. Okay, Alia is down. It's funny, you are digging your hands in the dirt. That's why the down. It's like there's different meanings with slightly different meanings, but for you, the down is like getting back to the earth, getting back to the basics, and like internal stuff. Okay, so Carolina B, that's out, forward. And Greta is up, and up is connecting with the cosmos. And you're very open in your 7th chakra. And so for you, you want to be a little bit more connected into the lower chakras, the more pragmatic. All right, Bella is up, and this is, you have a lot of hope and faith and connection to spirit and source. But for you, nothing wrong with that. Just connect in, like, first of all, you want to work on releasing your anxiety and fear. And I could see you have been doing that. It looks like it's been shifting. And you want to then take practical steps. So you're a little bit too off-weighted in the upper chakras versus connecting in with your body, connecting into the truth and making practical steps forward. So, I combine like ethereal talk with the practical, who do you need to call? That's the practical stuff. Okay. And then Jessie D, let's see, that's up. Very faith, spirituality, you're very strong on that. So a little bit more on the lower. Okay. Fazia, up, centered in spirituality. And also throwing up your hands like, what the heck, or what's going on, or I give up. Okay, Ebony Q is down, nuts and bolts, you're focused on. Patricia Q is forward, and it's way over there forward as well. And then Jessica Alderson is up, and it's mostly peaceful, yet yeah, you have a kind of a serenity with the up, and it doesn't look like it's really off balance from the lower. And so, but one thing is, there is kind of like this piece of, is there something I'm missing, and looking for that piece, which is basically going on in the collective consciousness. All right, Tabby is outward, forward, and it's really angled to the right, actually. I'll have to look at that more as to why. Okay, let's see. Okay, so because you're more focused on, what happened is, Tabby, it went up for a second and then went out there. It's kind of like, I could focus on spirituality, but I have more important things to deal with right now. Okay, Jacqueline is down, and Jacqueline, looks like you're delving into your inner child work. And then, I don't know how to say this, Maryzelle, let's see. Maryzelle, you are forward and way to the right as well. All right, that's a handful, and that was 21 readings there I just did. All right, so I would love to hear any thoughts or comments around that. And, okay, oops, just messed something up. All right. You know what? if you want to text me, I actually included my phone number in the email with people who, or you could just write later on the chat about any thoughts or insights about that. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, so next, now that we got that information, there's no right or wrong. There's no healing to do around the triangle. It's more so just where you're running your energy right now. And it changes too sometimes. All right, so now what I want you to do is go back to your visual meditation space and imagine the two ovaries. And once again, let's draw that gold line, because if you're wanting to manifest, then you have to have that creative second chakra connection. And this is basically where the line that connects the yin and the yang, right here in your second chakra. Okay. So draw a gold line, make sure it's really connected, strong. And sometimes when I do coaching, I have a conversation. If they're not, if one's really weaker, then I like have a conversation. What's going on with you? And we'll go really deep into what we need to do for the healing. So now what I want you to do is I want you to focus on the right ovary, because that's definitely a lot stronger for most everybody. And make sure there's gold in the right ovary. And then once again, draw that gold line up through your shoulder. And then I want you to imagine the gold line from the gold light from your right shoulder radiating down your arm and out through your fingertips, if that makes sense. So once again, the gold light from your right ovary goes up to the shoulder and out through the fingers. Okay. And do that one or maybe two more times. Yeah. So we want a really solid line. And if you feel or see anything blocking the energy flow, then ask yourself, what is that about? So right now, I was able to get it to flow all the way out your right hands. And what it looks like is you're freaking ready. You are ready to bring your creative message, your creativity out into the world. So it's basically the Reiki saying now is the time to do it. So no more holding off. I mean, you might want to wait till after the coronavirus for some of you, but as long as your energy is there, start to make the background steps for it. Okay, let's go to the left over your testes. And once again, put gold into that area. And then go ahead and draw the line, the gold up the channel on the left side. Just imagine that. And I'm helping you all. I'm sending this gold light energy up your left channel. And then when it gets to your left shoulder, imagine it going down your left arm. And this is definitely flowing a lot slower. And so this is more of the creative side. Your left side of your body connects to the right side of your brain. And so I'm just going to do a little energy clearing to get it to flow a little easier. Okay, now it's flowing a little easier. And now I'm going to bring that gold light out through your left fingers, your left hand. So just imagine in your mind that this gold light energy is robustly flowing through your left hand and flowing out through your left fingers. And now I want you to imagine the gold light streaming through both arms at the same time. So there's magical streaming golden water or light coming out through your fingertips. Now with this light, I want you to imagine that you hold a crystal ball or some kind of ball shape. And you could it's like basically Play-Doh, and you could mold this into whatever you want, if that makes sense to you. So you can mold this thing that you're holding onto into whatever you want it to be. And so you get to decide what is it you want to create with this creative channel, this creative energy that you have in your body. So just decide right now, what is it you want to create? I'm going to give you a moment here. Great. And then when you visualize it, just really drink in that experience. Just imagine like it's happening now. How does that feel? So exciting. And you could take a moment to ask yourself, what's the next step to get one step closer to that? And we want it to be both in the spiritual and in the pragmatic. So let's ask yourself two questions. The first one is, what in the spiritual, like what mindset or energy, or maybe a spirit guide or source or faith, that kind of thing. What do I need to bring in around manifesting that which I want? And then the second part is, what do I need to do practically? Like, do I need to call somebody? Do I need to create more YouTube videos? Do what is it that I need to do to get my message, to get my creative potential out there more? So there's the inner game and the outer game. And now take this golden ball. And this is your this is it. This is what you've created today. It's your creative ball. And I want you just to hold it, because in a second we're going to release it like a dove flying free. And so just hold it one more second. And then I want you to release it out into the universe and let it go completely. And after we do healings and you let it go, it's sort of like the universe has got the message, and you don't need to circle on it or think about it, at least for the rest of the day. You could take actions because you already know what you need to do now. You have a more clarity around that. But you don't need to go back into old patterns of worry or anxiety or second guessing yourself. Stop all that. Just stop it. Trust yourself more. This is a really time to develop your inner trust. And we're going to end this group healing with you taking in a healing energy. And the healing energy I want you to take in is, for some reason, I'm getting a light pink. So take in a light pink energy. And this is tranquility, inner peace, calm. It's a very spacious color. And let it go through every cell of your body. Let it split at your throat, go down through your arms, radiating light pink color. And let it go down through your torso, through your pelvis, all the way down your legs. And when it goes all the way down to the earth, just simply slide your hands forward and give yourself a little bow to thank yourself for the good work you're doing. Just by doing your inner work, you're basically helping to save the world. And it also allows any excess residue to slough off of you. That's how I complete my healings. And then as you come up to sitting, you're going to be at the new vibration for the rest of the day. Okay, much love. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what topics you'd like to hear more of in future healing groups. Okay. All right. Much love and peace.